This day doesn't get any better. There is, I just have to say that I'm so proud of myself just for trying and attempting to make succinct messages. I just wanted to say that because I usually struggle, but God has given me the voice, and whatever I missed from the last video, I carry it over to this one. So the last one talked about how poverty is not money, is not about money, and I mentioned that it's science, like how we behave is, it's all a matter of science. How poverty and oppression is all about science. It's all about our nervous system and how our brains were developed. And I'm not going to go into detail on that. You can find a video called ventral vagal activation. Why poverty is not about money on this YouTube channel that I recorded probably 2 weeks ago. So if you want more information about that, you can definitely go find it. That occurred, like I said, I get more thoughts after I finish the video. So thankfully, this like beautifully segues into the next part of this discussion, which is what oppression looks like. Like, what is it? And also a little bit about why I'm here able to do this, why I'm able to talk about this, and what this leads to. And so the image that God put in my mind was of crabs in a barrel. And there's this song that I love by Zakiya. She has an album that came out, a CD that came out years ago called Eclecticism, and this was one of the songs on it. But I just remember the chorus saying, crabs in a barrel, when one comes up, others pull them down. And as my experience has recently been, and through as I said, through the course of completing my JAI training, one of the things that I came to realize is that oppressed people cannot free oppressed people. And I put a little asterisk by that. And asterisk means like there's a side note right there. And it's based on what people are hindered by. So if people are oppressed financially, and that's subconsciously that I'm talking about, then they cannot help other people with money. And so what that looks like is somebody may have some money in savings, and when somebody else needs it, and it's a valid need, if they are called upon to live up to that responsibility, they won't. And they won't even reveal that they have that money or that they could possibly help, or they might reveal that they could possibly help, but they won't help because of their issues tied to that money based upon their childhood. Someone who is oppressed by their educational level will try to oppress somebody who is educated that doesn't take the time to help them understand or to listen to them. And I'm not telling you this from speculation. I'm telling you this from science because I deal with it all the time. And I realized, wow, so what about me? Like, where does this crabs in a barrel concept come from, right? And so what it is, let's go back to that picture of crabs in a barrel. And what I realized is that I was a crab in the barrel, but somehow I refused to live on the bottom of the barrel, and I climbed my way up. And this comes from, I believe that the way that I was able to do this, in fact, I'm sure that the way I was able to do this is because when my son came into the world, I was determined to parent him in a more peaceful, loving fashion. That I was going to break stereotypes and do something different for him. I knew that I wasn't going to have the talk. That was one of the things that God explicitly put in my spirit. I was like, I'm not having it. I'm going to change the world for him to be able to grow up to whoever he's going to be. I remember that when I was pregnant with him. And so in order to do that, I had to change, right? So here I am now. I'm a crab in the barrel, but I'm kind of taking a different path than everybody else, right? And then in order for me to live up to that, in the right way, my right way, that meant I felt I needed to be educated about it. So I sought for services that would support me in being a mom, being a teacher first to him, being a parent to him, that gave me information. So we enrolled in early Head Start. We went to play groups. In early Head Start, I participated in Circle of Security, and that gave me such a solid foundation for what I now know. So moving forward, I was so impressed with Circle of Security that I started looking for more information, and I ended up with Jai. It came across my screen one day, and I started to follow them. I would get their emails. I would jump in on whatever seminars that they were holding that were free to people, and I was like, "There's something to this," and I didn't know. I had no clue what I would be receiving on the other side of it, but Jai brought me to a place where I was no longer in the barrel. Let's put it that way. And so now what I realize God is having me do is, if you are trying to help somebody and you're trying to lift somebody, it is way easier to go down and push them up than to try to lean down and pull them up. Because especially for me, I know I have leg strength and I could easily push like my son or anybody else up. I'm sure I can, like, all right, well, I'm going to stand up here. I'm going to brace my body. And if you can climb up on my shoulders to get up there, I can do that. I can level myself up. My leg strength is strong enough. But I know that I can't reach down. My arm strength is not strong enough to reach down and pull somebody up. And so I've gone back down into the barrel to try to lift other people up, to lift out other crabs so that they can get above. And my goal is that there will be enough people above that we will all grab a rope and start pulling other people up, which makes it so much easier. It's like tug of war. You know, the more people you have on your side of the rope that are strong, the easier it's going to be to yank that other team, right? But instead of yanking the team that's coming out of the hole, we just want to lift people up and bring them with us, so that we can all journey together. And why this doesn't work for other people is literally that crabs in the barrel concept. If somebody sees you coming up, they're going to try and pull you down. If somebody sees you coming up, they're going to try and pull you down. And it's because of our subconscious conditioning and simply and deeply a lack of trust. We don't trust it when people say, "I'll be back for you," because in our subconscious, we have been left behind by our parents, and our brains and our nervous systems have developed not to trust people because we don't know when they're coming back. We don't know if they're coming back. And the reality is they probably aren't, right? We've had that experience. We have our trust issues. And so that is the reason why oppressed people can't help oppressed people be free. I'm not oppressed. And even if I get into a state of mind where I feel like I am, which has to do with my nervous system activation, the level of my nervous system activation, I know how to bring my level up, my level of activation up. I know how to climb back out of that pit because I've already been there. I know which road to trot. I know which crabs to avoid, if you will. And so this is such an important concept because we have to go into our subconscious conditionings. We have to heal that. I don't know how many people that said they would contribute to my campaign, to this campaign that I have to set people free to liberation through Paid to Parent and the new Emancipation Proclamation. And I'm waiting for a ding on my phone that tells me I got a notification that I got money, and it never shows up. And I have gotten to a point where that doesn't offend me. It actually makes me aware that there's somebody who really does want to help, and their inability to help me or their lack of follow through on helping me has anything to do with me. It has to do with whatever's going on in their spirit that causes them to that allows their subconscious conditioning to overthrow what they consciously want to do. And so I'm grateful for that piece because I just keep moving on and I don't get offended. And I know that God has taken care of me and my son this far, and he's not going to fail us now. So with that, I'm going to say thank you for listening. I'm not done. So keep watching. There's at least one more video coming. Thank you.